I work from an RV. I manage enterprise infrastructure. I have multiple home labs, and I'm constantly jumping in and out of remote systems via VPNs. So, needless to say, I need something that can keep up with my workflow. So when GEEKOM sent me the GeekBook M16 laptop, you can bet that I was geeking out. Let's see how this thing holds up to my everyday workflow. First things first, I just opened the package and I got two things. I got GEEKOM GeekBook M16 laptop, and I also got a USB-C docking station hub, which is a nice little add-on. We'll get back to this in a minute. So let's first talk about this packaging. This is some premium packaging. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect this to be that nice. This looks like some of those bigger competitors that we shall not name, but this is very, very nice, clean packaging. Let's open this for the first time together. The truth, put this to the side. Here we have it. We have the laptop itself. Love the pull-out tab. Very nice, and that thing is thin. Apparently it's 0.66 inches thin. I believe it because that is definitely thin. Very nice. We'll come back to the laptop here in a second. Again, very nice pull-out tabs. Manuals, warranties, all that kind of stuff. Looks like, I'm guessing, the USB-C part of the charger. Ooh, very nice. It's got that like braided material, so it seems like it's going to be a little bit more resistant to abrasion and things like that. So that's pretty cool. And this is probably our turbo charging brick. Yep, very nice, has a very good weight, and that is 100 watts. So that is going to help charge this thing very quickly, and we'll put that to the test later. Let's check out this laptop. So there is everything that you get in the box. So we have our laptop, our docking station, we've got the 100-watt brick, we've got our 6-foot USB-C to USB-C cable, and our manuals and warranties. Without any more delay, let's check out this laptop. Don't roast me in the comments for how I'm ripping this paper off. Ooh, very nice. So on the website, it says this is CNC aerospace grade aluminum, and it doesn't look like it shows fingerprints. It's got a very nice tactile feel. It doesn't give too much, so that definitely seems like premium quality. Rubber footing. Keyboard feels nice. We have the actual click at the bottom and probably just touch at the top. This has a Intel 9 Ultra core. We've got 16 gigabytes of DDR5 memory, fingerprint sensor. Apparently this thing will open up 180 degrees, so let's see what that looks like. Wow. I don't know when I'm actually going to ever use that, but that's pretty crazy that the hinge will allow you to open the laptop up that far. Let's go over the physical specs here. So we have USB-C connection port, HDMI, 2 USBs, and an auxiliary jack. And based off all these specs, it looks like you can connect up to 3 external monitors altogether onto this. So if you are like me and like to have multiple displays, shouldn't have a problem. On the docking station, we have USB-C, HDMI, 2 USB 3 ports, RJ45 Ethernet, and all this plugs in via USB-C. So definitely gives you a lot more flexibility, especially if you're on the road traveling like I am, or if you just need a minimal setup. Now that we've covered that, this has a 16:10 display. And one thing that is overlooked, but is so amazing, you know if you know, the keyboard layout. Look at this number pad on the right. A lot of full-size laptops don't have that anymore, and that is so useful, especially for someone like me. I absolutely love it. First impressions from a physical standpoint, I love the size of the display. I love the keyboard, and just from a tactile feel, the keyboard feels great. We'll see how this performs on first boot up. And this last feature I'm going to go over, you're either going to love it or you hate it. I personally love it. Privacy screen for the webcam. Check this out. Slide, privacy, open, and now I'm good for my meetings. There's just something physical that I absolutely love about that, and they could easily be tacky. This is super slim, and you can barely even notice that it's there, but now you can rest assured that you have privacy when you want privacy. One thing that's also overlooked with a lot of laptops is a little lip right here. So many of today's modern laptops are all flush, so it's really hard to open laptops without having two hands. This one, I can just grab that and open it, which is very nice and convenient. Out the box, this comes with Windows 11. It does advertise as Linux ready, which we will definitely put to the test, but I'm really just curious how good the battery life is and what it's even on out the box. So let's see how Windows performs and what the battery's on. So first boot up. There it is, Windows 11. Just to save everyone time, I'm going to go ahead and set this up, We'll come back and then we'll compare and contrast how this thing benchmarks out of the box, how the battery life is, how boot up time is, all that, all those types of variables, and then we'll compare it to Linux. The very tedious process of setting up Windows out of the box is done. Let's see how boot up speeds are now that that is done. Much better, much better, very solid. And as we can see here, the fingerprint sensor did work, it signed me in immediately, and it was very speedy. So just talking about specs, for storage, we have an M2 SSD, 500 gigabytes, which is fantastic. Should be more than enough for everything that I personally do. We have 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 memory, and our CPU is the Intel 9 Ultra 185H CPU. And so far, everything looks like it's doing pretty well. Most of this memory is coming from Windows 11 bloat, as you can see here. Windows being Windows. So very curious to see how much that drops once we switch over to different Linux variants. Let's put this through its paces. So here we have just a random 4K video. Let's see how it looks full screen. There it is. Looks pretty solid. Let's see how the sound is. Now, I don't know how this is going to come across on video. I'll go ahead and do max volume here. Sounds solid to me. Doesn't sound distorted. Awesome. In fact, let's go ahead and just keep that playing. We'll see how resources do. So I did install WSL, and I've got a few benchmarks applications going. So WSL, I've got a Fedora setup going. So we can see here, everyone's favorite fast fetch. There's our WSL for Fedora Linux 44. It integrates with all of your home directory with Windows. And here is HTOP, just so you could see how some specs are running on top of Windows. And so far, just with the 4K video and that running, and the benchmark applications, we are at 68% memory out of our 16 gigs. CPU is basically idling, so that's awesome so far, not bad. Running Cinebench. One key thing that we're going to be interested in here is how loud the fans get, how hot the computer gets, and just generally how high the resources are running throughout this benchmark. Benchmarks have finished up. The multi-core was right where we anticipated, 851, which lines right up with all the other laptops in its field, so that's fantastic. And more importantly, everything feels responsive when I'm going through the 4K, WSL, browsing through tabs, everything feels fantastic. From an everyday standpoint, everything feels snappy and responsive so far, which is impressive, especially given that it's Windows 11. As far as the single core tests, this is lower than expected, and that's probably my fault. I still have WSL running in the background. I'm not running in high performance mode, and I ran it directly after the multi-core. So ideally, this is probably going to be anywhere in the 120s to 130s, but still not bad. And again, from an everyday use case standpoint, everything feels responsive. So take that as you will. These numbers are really going to be dependent on your scenario. So it's really just something that you can reference depending on what you're looking for in a computer. So next up, we're going to take this, I'm going to plug it into my docking station. We'll go ahead and use the new BC hub that came with it and see how that all works. We'll make sure the displays all work nicely. And then afterwards, the real fun, we're going to load up Linux with this bad boy. Probably go ahead and load up CachyOS just to see how it does with the new Intel Ultra Core CPU. So great news. My portable monitor was recognized almost immediately, so everything came right up. My keyboard, my mouse works, everything seems snappy. So Windows, not bad. Time to load Linux. We'll see how it compares. All right, so here we are. The GeekBook M16 has been reloaded with CachyOS, which is a specialized version of Arch Linux. It's got a customized board scheduler and some optimized packages that help it with performance, and it's really mostly for the gaming PC. I am no gamer, but I do like the performance enhancements that you get from this particular distro. So I don't have Cinebench on here like we ran with Windows, but we do have something somewhat comparable. I ran Geekbench fitting, and here's what I got. 1830 for single core, 10,863 for the multi-core, which I did not run this particular benchmark, so it's not super comparable, but if you compare it to other scores with computers of similar specs, this is outperforming it. And that's really mostly due to the distro itself. But overall, good benchmarks across Windows and good benchmarks across Linux. So success. And we have displays and everything seems to be working, so good to go. Let's reboot it and see how the boot up process goes. So here we are, fresh boot up. Pretty snappy. So both are fast. The difference here is I'm probably going to get better performance across my applications, and if I were to game or anything like that, this is definitely going to give me an advantage. And then, of course, your Windows bloat is going to slowly increase over time, so the Windows is probably going to decrease in performance. Overall, I would still choose Linux, but I'm biased. So we've loaded the GeekBook M16 up. We've ran on Windows. We've ran it with Linux, Cache OS. And so far, benchmarks are good across the board. It feels good. Touchpad's good. Keyboard feels nice. I love the outside. Even when it was running the heavy renders, the fans didn't get too loud, didn't get too hot. So this seems like a very good option for someone who is on the go, who's a professional, who's a student, who just needs something that has enough power to do things locally. It's got everything for you. If you're getting it for gaming, I can't honestly say how it's going to do because I'm not a gamer and I didn't put it through those kind of stress tests. But for someone who's multitasking and needs that little bit of extra oomph, who's running subsystems and virtualization in a very small way on here, it handles like a champ. The only thing I can't necessarily comment on right now is the battery life, which is supposed to be one of the biggest selling points of this. So I'll run it for the next week, and if you want to see my follow-up review of running it every day for the next week, then follow and subscribe, and you can see how I feel about it in 7 days from now. So overall first impressions is the GEEKOM M16 is modern, sleek, aesthetically pleasing, and strong enough to meet my everyday requirements. So I recommend it. If you're interested in this laptop, you can get it at geekompc.com. I'll leave a link in the description. Drop a comment down below. Where's the first place you would take your GeekBook M16?